We are all together today, which is rare. We are with Jenn, Chen, and Yulee. Yeah, Joyce Well, it's very rare for us to be in person, but we decided to pause from our regular lives.
We did.
And be together.
Where are we?
We're somewhere in San Diego.
Yeah.
In a cute little Airbnb. It's really cute. Yeah. But as we're together and just having fun, we're also thinking, what do we want to bring into the world and birth into the world and what is needed in this time for Asian American women? So we came up with Women on the Pause. Why the name? Let's tell the people.
Well, we were advocating this morning. I was thinking about the whole idea of menopause and how little we actually knew about it before one of us began engaging it. And I think the idea is it just began to percolate in our minds. And we just started getting excited about providing a space to talk about maybe things that there's very little space to talk about.
Yeah.
It's about how do we age gracefully? How do we enter into each new season ahead of us with joy and hope and lots of laughter?
Yeah. There's definitely been a lot of laughter.
So much laughter. My tummy hurts.
No, in a good way. In a good way. And I think we were also talking about how can we embrace aging and not just be about all the anti-aging stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're at a point in our lives where the stuff that pops up on my social media feed, you're like, thanks. It's all about how can we prevent aging.
Yes.
But there's nobody really talking about how do we embrace aging with wisdom, with laughter, with grace. As a woman of faith, who's still running really hard in our careers, in our vocation, with aging parents, I still have kids at home, but just how do we do all of that in a way that in a rich and full life? So those are the kinds of things we want to share about.
Yeah.
And we're all still running.
Yeah.
We're still in our jobs. I think at the height, I don't know about the height. I feel like for all three of us, new opportunities are budding.
Yeah.
So new things are starting. Old things are coming to their height.
Yeah.
We're in our prime. I don't know, maybe. Because, we should share our ages and our stage of life.
Okay. I'm 48. This is Yulee. I'm 48.
And you have a son who's in college.
Yeah, he's 20. One son in college. So we're empty nesting.
How has empty nesting been for you?
It doesn't really feel like empty nesting. I mean, mentally, I'm still very invested in my son's life and just everything that's happening and guiding him into young adulthood. And, I feel like the parenting shifted. It just looks different, but the investment, I feel like the weight of parenting is similar, but it's expressed differently now. And I don't know when that changes where I feel like I'm actually an empty nester. I don't know if it's when they get married or when that actual detached feeling comes. Maybe never. Who knows? Maybe Jenn has more insight.
Yeah. And Jenn, how old are you?
Maybe it never comes.
I'm not sure.
I'd say I'm 53 and my kids are 22, 25, 26, and 29. We've got 2 marrieds, one getting married this September, and my youngest finished college. And
you have a grandbaby.
I have a grandbaby, 10-month-old grandbaby. And I am calling our season of life open nesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the birdies still fly home from time to time. They'd certainly leave their feathers.
Yeah.
And I think my heart is just been learning a lot about how to be present, how to love, how to also take care of myself, and also just to love my husband, to really invest in marriage. It's so easy to let relationships, the ones closest to us, to let them slide in seasons of transition because we're trying to find our bearing, I think as a woman, getting older, there's very little guidance, I think, other than here's how to slow down the process. But really, truly, I love being my age and I'm really excited about what's ahead. But I also am looking for people to journey with.
Yeah.
And language for this journey.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Joyce? So I'm 49, going on 50 this year. I don't feel it because I had kids later in life, so I still have a 17, 14, and 11-year-olds at home. And these years of and they're all girls. They have teenage girls. So these years are like a lot of, like, there's just always loud noise. It's not quiet. And I think girls just tend to talk more and express themselves, which I love, but it is not a quiet home. And I've always had a husband who travels for work. So he's like had different jobs, but they've all required travel. So I'm used to kind of juggling like the solo parenting when he's gone. And I've always had a career. They've been different careers, and I've adapted and like from full-time to part-time to several part-time jobs at the same time, depending on the needs of my family and also the call of God. So I feel like I've had to just really learn how to adapt in each season. And then I'm always asking God, what do you have for me this season? And then am I doing enough for my kids? Like there's a tension there, I think, between my own call, kind of in ministry or outside the home, and then also my present season of wanting to parent well. And how do I do both well? So I'm in the midst of that.
Yeah. And I think we just want to be real and share our experiences as we age together and what it looks like to age together with friends. What is friendship anyway? What does that look like in this season in particular? What does it look like leaders? You know, all three of us are leaders in different spaces, but also at Cora Collective together. You know, how can aging, embracing all the aspects of aging make us better leaders? You know,
and then holistic, because we can't really talk about we use at Core Collective this phrase, spacious leaders. We can't be a spacious leader if we're not taking care of ourselves and the families and all of the different aspects, like physically, mentally, emotionally.
And then we want to laugh at ourselves. Right?
Oh, and Jenn helps us with that.
Jenn can be a stand-up comedian.
Like, not laugh at yourself. But, you know, as we were sitting around lunch today, I'm thinking about who are the women that have gone before us. And, you know, there are women that we love and we look up to, but they are few and far between. So especially in the Asian American area, Christian women, like, who are women that have gone before us, who kind of are showing us the way. And not that we know what we're doing, guys, we're still learning. We're still learning, and I think we will be. And maybe that's the key, is to keep growing, and that we won't be afraid of what's ahead.
And we want to be vulnerable about our experiences, like what we're learning together, like this whole menopause situation.
It is a situation. It does affect everything. Are we still? For sure. And then also, how do we love if we're married, like how do we love our spouses? If we're parents, do we love our kids? And yet continue to grow as people, as women. Like into the gifts. Because I think in every season there is a calling and there are gifts to be expressed. They won't be all done. They won't be done the same way in every season. But I think, you know, if you're listening to this, you know what we mean when we say that there's a stirring in our hearts. We're wondering, is there more? Is there more? And what could that look like? So we want these conversations to be an invitation to you. As you listen to us process, I trust that it's stirring in you something, questions and wonderings, and you'd hear the invitation from the Lord. One of the things for me is I have observed people who are, when they age, their worlds become smaller because maybe their children was a connection to the larger world. And as their children leave, like their careers, and as their careers start to, like, they step out of certain roles, they ask, am I still relevant? What do maybe they don't feel like they have a lot to offer anymore, or they're just not curious. They don't have an open mind, and they're not continually learning if they're not naturally in those spaces anymore with kids and career. And so how do you have like a growth mindset, and your world can actually become bigger and bigger because as you age, you have more and more experiences and more wisdom to offer. And I just think there's like, when we look around, I mean, you do this so well, both of you, of like looking at the younger generation and giving back. And I think part of the heart for Women on the Pause is to kind of like share what we're learning for the people who are coming behind us and for our peers. Like we want to live it out. And it's in an embodied way. It's in a holistic way. And so we want to share like just real faith on this podcast. Is that what we're learning?
And it started just laughing about our menopause situation. And then we're like, pause. Sounds great. We are going to pause to reflect on everything we're going through as we're aging and hoping that it will be an encouragement and a refreshing conversation for others who will listen in. So we could pause together. So we invite you to join us. Join us on this journey. It's totally unscripted, possibly unhinged.
And we all need more pauses in the speed of our lives. And so we invite you to pause with us as we cover a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
And as Jenn said, to see what it stirs in you, to see what the invitation of God is for you in whatever season of life you're in, to bring that before the Lord.
We're so glad you're here.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.